for the Fisher's Test Kitchen over at the yard at Fisher's District. And so when we entered into that agreement, we have the ability at first to really focus on entrepreneurship and having these 3 different bays that were in place. And as you're aware, this has gone through different iterations over the years, just a learning experience for all of us about the restaurant world and demands and different changes that we needed to make. And so the current lease that is in there is with HBTK or FTK Test Kitchen. So that group, their lease was through November of 2026. Related to item B, we've had some ongoing conversations with them about why the current setup and operation really just isn't a great fit and we aren't able to realize that full potential of what we had hoped for after going through this now 2 different iterations over the years. And so we have decided to part ways with that entity. And so as a result of that, we're requesting a $10,000 settlement to release them from, or to release us from that lease. They've been super helpful in coordinating the existing equipment that's in there. They've all been notified, their tenants or their different bays and operators have all been notified well before this conversation. But we're requesting approval of that agreement and that termination. Jennifer, Reed, anything to add there?
Questions from the members on the proposed settlement agreement and termination of the lease? All right, how about a motion on the resolution?
Move to approve the motion or approve the resolution.
Second. There's a second. Those in favor of adopting the resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? None. It carries. Next item is the professional services and test kitchen use agreement with Kelsey Murphy.
Yes, so super excited to have this resolution in front of you in this use agreement. So as a result of the current tenant now terminating their operations within the space, we knew we wanted somebody who was excited to go in there, who would be a great partner with Sun King. Obviously, having an entrepreneurial spirit was super important to us. And so worlds kind of collided with Kelsey Murphy, who won MasterChef. She operated, I think, for a couple of months out of the test kitchen after she won in one of those bays to really start building up her brand and her persona. And so she's very excited to be able to go in here. I think it's going to be called Clutch Kitchen at Fisher's District. And so we're excited to welcome her in there effective January 1st. So lots of moving pieces have been coordinated in the background, primarily by Reed. But with this agreement, and I'll let Reed jump into this, we are requesting approval of a 3-year lease. And I'll let Reed go through what the payment structure, TI, and then revenue share looks like.
Yeah, so the recommendation for the tenant improvements payment would be a maximum of $250,000. Those funds are coming from an excess TIF in the station's district. And the lease terms, it's a 3-year term. She'd be paying us $1,000 in rent during construction, $2,500 in rent after construction for the remainder of 2026, and then $5,000 a month in rent for the remainder of the term. So that'd be 27 and 28. She'd also be sharing a 1.5% of revenue with the city as sort of a amortization of the TI costs.
What does that end up being, like, dollars per square foot when we did that math? For her lease, yeah.
It was
$20.
I think it was about $20 a square foot, which is a really good deal in that area. I think maybe a little over $20 a square foot.
And included in that rev share, there's a couple of different parts of that, correct?
Yeah, so that will include all of the food at Clutch Kitchen and then her existing catering business, who should be operating out of there as well.
And that's gross sales.
Correct. She's currently operating catering.
Yes. Yeah, so she has a shared space in Indianapolis that she primarily uses, and then I think at her house some as well. But this will be her home base. Yeah.
Do you have a rough idea how long the construction will take?
Not yet. I don't have an updated timeline. I can't imagine. I say this begrudgingly because I know how this goes, so I can't imagine taking too long. But more than 6 months, I guess I would say.
But I think an important piece of this is Sun King, because of the relationship in there, it's required to serve food as part of their liquor license, as are all alcohol establishments throughout the state. And so we've been operating within one single or two bays up until this point. So Kelsey will go into one of those bays on the 1st. She'll start operations while then the construction and then kind of refining and re-envisioning of the signature table will also happen, right?
That's correct.
Super exciting. We're hoping to do a big press release next week.
I think within the next 2 weeks, as she gets settled in.
Questions, comments from the members? How about a motion on the resolution to approve the professional services and test kitchen use agreement?
All motion. I'll second.
All right, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Last item we've got is a resolution approving 2 real estate purchase agreements.
Yes. So similar to, I believe, our previous meeting, we have the opportunity through the State Road 37 and excess funds that were part of that bond to be able, that were identified, those funds were identified to be used for land acquisition in targeted economic development areas. And through that conversation and through that funding, we have the opportunity to purchase 2 properties. One is 11425 Lantern Road, which is south of South Street on Lantern Road. And then it's actually 2 additional properties, but it's by one owner, 8605 and 8065 South Street, which is along the Nickel Plate Trail and just south of South Street. So for the 11425 Lantern Road, that is for $1.3 million. And then for the South Street parcels for $3 million. Hoping to close before the end of January. And, but as Jennifer, I'll let you jump in on the technical pieces of this. These purchase agreements, while we're asking for approval, are subject to due diligence and appraisals. Is that correct?
That is correct. So the appraisals have been ordered. We're supposed to have both of them back by the 15th. The due diligence on both purchase agreements is the 23rd. We can terminate the agreement during the due diligence period, really for any reason. So we've asked that you approve these purchase agreements subject to approving those appraisals when they come in on the 15th, and we'll bring those back to you in an open meeting. But this at least gives the sellers some assurance that we're serious about buying, which they're looking.
Questions, comments? All right, how about a motion on approval of the resolution, subject to the conditions that Jennifer just outlined?
So moved.
Okay. All right, those in favor of adopting the resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I don't think we have any other business. Do we?
We do have
There's
one.
one more thing, the annual pass-through.
Yeah.
Just as per state statute, the redevelopment commission is allowed to pass every excess increment to the overlapping taxing districts. Historically, we don't do that. We can keep that money in-house for debt service and other things that come up. Same thing for this year. We're not asking to pass through any excess increments. So the county likes to have this done by typically February. And since you're bringing today, and you already approved the spending plan, just thought we'd get it out of the way for next year.
We need to formally adopt a
Just
motion to approve the letter that we're not gonna pass through any funds. So can I have a motion to approve the letter that was given to send to the county officer?
All motion.
All right.
I'll second.
All right, those in favor of approving the letter signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I think we're done now.
I think we are.
All right.
We are.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Rob. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
What else would we all be
Well,
doing?